I may take a couple of more minutes. Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Jai Shri Ram. I am neither an activist, I am not a historian, I am not an intellect, I am not a researcher. I am just a plain, helpless Rama Bhakta. Like the monkeys which served Shri Ram in Treta Yuga, it is my attempt to do my bit to Shri Ram in this Kali Yuga. It was then a fight for Dharma, as it was in the case of Dwapara Yuga as well, where Sri Krishna fought. We are seeing this yet again in this Kali Yuga, just that we do not know who the enemy is because he looks like us. He is among us. And he is actually our enemies. We do not know, we don't recognize him. Yes, Ramayana and Mahabharata is happening one more time here in Kali Yuga, and we are witnessing it without knowing that it is happening. It is upon us in this Kali Yuga to protect God. God is in the form of an Archavatara, as a Murti. And it is our responsibility to protect him and his abode, that is the temple. Many of us are proud and passionate Hindus. Many of us understand that Hindus are under attack today from several directions. My attempt before you today is to make you see the Ravana who is attacking us, the Hindu Dharma as well as the Hindu Dharma, and to sow a seed in your hearts, to have a desire to be part of Sri Rama's army to defeat Adharma in this Kali Yuga. That is my attempt. If you understand today's Ravana, his 10 heads, and what he does to the Hindu society and the Hindu Dharma, it will help us realize as a Hindu society and attempt to become the monkey in Sri Ram's army. The first head that I am talking about, this Ravana that we are seeing in Kali Yuga, is the state of the position of Hindu Dharma religious leaders, Acharyas. Sivacharyas of Shaiva Sampradaya, Acharyas and Jiyars of Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, that is Ramanuja Sampradaya, Acharyas appointed by Madhvacharya and Dvaita Sampradaya, Shankaracharya of the Advaita Sampradaya, Shakta Sampradaya Acharyas are in a state of nothing, basically. They are reduced to nothing. They are almost invisible. There's a huge conference. We don't see any Acharyas here. That's an example, that's the reality today. Acharyas of these great dharmas, their sampradaya must be part of this. And they are not there. That's why I'm saying they are invisible. Not many care for them, not even their sishyas. They are clueless. The Acharyas are clueless and powerless in having any active participation on decision making in the respective religious institutions. If an Acharya attempts to take an active step towards correcting something in a temple, definitely the politicians, the government, the powerful, the rich, the influential, they all ensure that he goes back into his shell by putting as much as pressure to the Acharyas, because he is left alone to defend himself. We must remember Article 26 of the Constitution of India. It gives us the right to manage our religious institutions. This right is available to Christians and Islams, but it is refused to Hindus today. It is not available to us, because our temples are today managed by the governments. The situation of the Acharyas, namely the powerless situation, their lack of guts, their lack of willingness, the lack of support to the Acharyas, and must change. And this is the first head of the Ravana that we see in the Kali Yuga. The second head is the government. In Tamil Nadu, the government controls 43,575 temples, 46 mutts, 69 temples which are attached to mutts, and several Hindu charitable religious institutions, the endowments. Law is clear that the government cannot interfere in a temple or a mutt. Law is also very clear that the temples can only be administered by trustees, whether it is hereditary or non-hereditary. But the government, for the past several decades has ensured that these trustees are eliminated systematically, And they have appointed their own people, the government employees, as executive officers illegally in these temples and control all the activities of the temple, including the religious activities. In spite of the Madras High Court passing an order on 7/6/2021, where it directed the government to appoint trustees in all these temples, I played a major part in the outcome of the case. Till date, 99% of the temples don't have trustees. They are controlled by executive officers. And what the 1% is where there are trustees, they are basically political appointments as a gift to the political person who is supporting them. This is what is happening. Situation like this is there all over India. All over India, temples are controlled by one law or other. Northern states are all those the same. We know what happened in Uttarakhand. We know what happened in Karnataka. Nothing more to say there. So government controls is there all over India. The third head, the atheists and politicians. Atheists, they come in several colors. Nastikas. They are a curse to the society. They are the Rakshasas of today. They misuse and abuse their ill-gotten power only for one reason, to suppress Hindus, to suppress the believers. The politicians, I classify them into two. The Nastika politicians and the Astika-Nastika politicians. There is nothing called Astika politicians today. The Nastika politicians are same as the Nastics. There is no difference. They can be very easily identified because they promote Nastika Vada. They disregard and misuse and abuse the law by having the power, by coming to power hook or crook. They control all our temples. The Astika Nastika politicians are even more dangerous than the Nastika politicians because we don't know who they are. They resemble to be an Astikas, but they are actually doing great injustice to our Hindu Dharma. Many of us believe in these Astika Nastika politicians as they are the savior for the Hindu religion or the Hindu Dharma or the Hindus, for the cause of Hindus. Typically, you can never see them openly supporting any Hindu cause for that matter. They will never come. All they are interested in is use the Hindu card to get the votes and to go to the power and then do what they wanted to do. This category of people, they don't know anything about Sampradaya. They don't know anything about what is there in the text. They pick and choose one or two verses from Bhagavad Gita written by their speech writers and then give a negative, wrong interpretation for that. And to make people believe that is the interpretation, they themselves take the role of the acharyas today. This is the problem today. Today, most of us don't seek any refuge with acharyas, but we depend on the politicians to guide us, which is a big mistake that we all do. The only way you can identify these people is to confront them directly and ask pertinent question. What have you done to the Dharma? What have you done to Hindu temples? When you ask this question, the immediate response that they give you is, oh, I'm a politician. I can't just look into Hindu cause. I have other reasons to do. There are so many things, poverty, this, that, etc. They will say, and then they will run away. They will never say, yes, I will stand for the Hindu cause. This is how you can easily identify them, confront them, ask one question. What have you done to say Jnanavapi? What have you done to say Ram Mandir? If you ask this question, they will run away. You can easily identify them. This is the third head. The third head is, the fourth head is fake sannyasis and fake religious leaders. Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana says, this is written long back, that Kali Yuga will be filled with fake sannyasis and fake religious leaders. We see it today. This category is even more dangerous than the Astika Nastika politicians, I am telling you. Typically, they don't believe in any Itihasas and Puranas. They won't read them. They won't know Sanskrit. They don't trust in it. They read English translations and they go about propagating whatever comes in their mind and they propagate it as this is what is Hindu Dharma saying. They will not refer any text. If at all they refer English translations. Again, these people can easily be identified because they won't have any lineage. Usually they indulge with a lot of wealth, power, political connections, attention in mainstream media, and they will have a lot of followers in social media. Typically, I call them as corporate babas. Most of them are in saffron, unfortunately, so which makes real saffron people go, they mingle with them, and then they cheat us basically. They introduce blind faith, and they thrive systematically by destroying Hindu faith. The fifth head is basically Upanyasakas, those who give religious discourses. They talk about Itihasas and Puranas. They give us teachings on what is written in Bhagavad Gita, what is written in Vishnu Purana, Shiva Purana, etc., etc. But they don't practice what they preach. At least I see this in Tamil Nadu a lot more than any other part. I do not know about other parts of India, but at least in Tamil Nadu I can see that these people, most of them, they discourage people from opposing the government or opposing a wrongdoing in a temple. They say, God will take care of us, don't worry, etc., etc. You don't have to don't put your these things, leave it to God. And they make sure that people take a step back, which paves way. Thank you, sorry, I'm taking a lot more time, give me 5 more minutes. I have only come to fifth head, I need another 5 more heads. Yeah, I understand, sorry. The sixth head is the fake astrologers. We know what they do. They target gullible people. They feed on the bad situation of a person. They say, go do this parikara, this upakara there somewhere, temples. They convert the temple into a religious place. They convert it to a business place. I go to the God and then say, God, give me health, I will tonsure my head. God, give me wealth, I will make you a partner in my business and then give you so much of money. This is the kind of thing that we do. The seventh head is the Christians and Islamic evangelists. All the things that I said above, they strive on it, they use it, they say that our dharma, Hindu dharma is full of bad ideas. They promise the sky, they say there are miracles in all other places, etc. So they try to convert us and then take us away. What Mr. Pandeyji said is happening everywhere in Hindu dharma. Give me a second, sir. I told you, give me 5 minutes, please. Yeah, I know my time is up. I'm sorry. So what they do is they put in the churches, they put a Dvajastamba. They take all the religious activities that happens in a Hindu temple and then practice it in a church, and they confuse there also. You will be seeing a lot of pictures behind me. I finished it. I know that my time is up by that because I timed it for 9 minutes. The ninth head basically is the courts and the state. The courts is the last resort for all of us. But when we go to the court, they come up with the Places of Worship Act and then say, no, you cannot claim back the Hindu temples that were destroyed by the Mughals and the Christians. They deprive us even the right to speak to the court and then ask for a justice. That is the state of affairs today. Many politicians have the 2 cents there also, you know. They say, don't go to every mosque and look for shivlings. They do this. Why? His fight is that. Mr. Jain's fight is that. He is trying to recover all these temples, and politicians come and then say, don't go looking for shivlings in mosques, which is again a misleading. And the courts, they don't have time. There are not enough courts. There are not enough judges. There are not enough advocates who can understand Hindu dharma properly, the sampradaya properly, and then argue for the cause. That is another problem that we are facing. And governments, in spite of the orders that we get, like I told you just now, the orders we get, they just don't care for the orders of the court. They disregard the court, put the order in the dustbin, they continue to do what they do. The status of the court is pathetic today, unfortunately. In spite of me going to the court, I am saying this because many of the orders that we have received is not being implemented by the governments. The last head, we. I'm not going to leave us alone. We are the samsaris, basically. We are also a problem. Because many of us say Hindu dharma is a way of life. We justify our inability to follow the karmas that is there in the Shastras. And then say there are no hard and fast rules. There is no single book for Hindus. There is no, what they said, Itihasa and Puranas, Vedas, they are all old, old-fashioned. They don't, you can't follow this in this time. It is old-fashioned, old-dated. And many of us live as namesake as Hindus, taking greatly, like participating in conferences like this. But we But we hesitate to follow the footsteps of Sri Rama and Sri Krishna, which is laid out in Mahabharata and Ramayana the other way. And then we also discourage our kids when they are getting inspired with Rama and Krishna. They want to follow this. No, that is not only for after 60 years you can do, not now. Now I will 2 more minutes, finished. Sorry? Yeah, finished. I'm summarizing it, sorry. This 10-headed Ravana on a daily basis they attack Hindu Dharma. The slides sum it up. This is the slide where I come from. This is the Moola Murti of Shri Ranganatha Swami in Sri Rangam. He is the Kula Devata of Shri Ram, whose temple is being built with great fervor. I am happy about that. But Kula Devata of Sri Ram is being damaged beyond recognition. Like you see, the old one is this is on the left side is the original deity. They desecrated it in front of our eyes today. I filed a case, and the case is pending in the court for so many years now. This is what they can do. The 10-headed Ravanas can get into our temple, desecrate our God. They have stolen the Utsav Murti in the year 2012. Many of us don't even know this, unfortunately. I will leave it to that. I will finish with this. It is only Sri Ram who can save us and none else. This faith sums up the Hindu religion. Protect Sri Ram, who is the personification of Dharma. They say Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha. Protect Sri Krishna, who is exactly Dharma. Krishnam Dharmam Sanatanam. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram.